Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Patch Like a Champion Monday. My name is Joe Fazio, and we are delighted that you chose to join us for this very informative session. I've got my partner in crime, my dear friend, my business partner, Rich Thomann, who was one of the top linebackers to come out of Notre Dame. Rich, I wanted to honor the state of Ohio. We're not big fans of the Buckeyes. They did beat us in the championship game last year, but you were recruited by Woody Hayes, and our special guest testimonial speaker tonight married into the Woody Hayes family. So we wanted to honor the state of Ohio and a little bit of Buckeye. So, Rich, if you wouldn't mind, share what was your initial thought when I first told you about this little sticker, and why are there almost 70 former Notre Dame players now wearing this technology? Rich Toman, welcome.
Thanks, Joe. When you called me, of course, we already had a relationship and I knew you well, and I trusted you. And so you had a certain amount of, I don't know the word, credibility with me, probably is the best word to use. And so I listened. And when you said, "What do you know about stem cells?" Part of I was in the orthopedic business for many years and medical sales as device sales since 1978. So that's quite a few years back. And I knew about stem cells because I sold the injections. So a doctor would call me and say, "Rich, I've got a patient that wants a stem cell injection. Can you bring your?" Well, at that time we had to bring them in overnight. They had to be cooled and frozen, and they were very difficult to handle. And you wanted to keep the stem cells alive as long as you could, and you didn't know where those stem cells were coming from, but they were just stem cells. So I knew enough about them, Joe, to know that they were expensive because the patient had to be willing to pay cash for them. And then two, they had to have a spot on their body that they could put the stem cells in, like a shoulder or a knee. And there had to be considerable pain for them to go to the expense of putting that injection. Even the injection was painful. And so there's a lot of negatives up front, but people were willing to do it. In fact, I was willing to do it myself. I had two knees that from basketball that were needed replaced, and I thought I could buy myself some time by injecting stem cells, Joe. But they didn't really work for me. So, and that was a good bit of money, $3,000 a shot that I spent to find out that they did relieve a lot of the pain that I had. So that was my thought when you first called me. Oh, I don't think I want to do that. I've already had stem cell injections and I already sold them. So I was curious though as to what you were doing.
Outstanding. You know, it's interesting. A lot of people are getting fed up with popping pills. It's not a really good time to be a pill manufacturer based on what we're seeing in the news with vaccines and pharmaceuticals and over-the-counter pills. Um, Elevating peptides and reawakening your own dormant stem cells, this is probably a $50 billion industry right now. In 10 years, it's scheduled to be about $65 billion industry. I just think we're at the right place at the right time. Would you agree, Rich?
Yeah, no question about it, Joe. I don't think many people, though, really understand what stem cells are and what they do. If you do understand, you know you want more of them. And you know as you get older, our bodies make less of them. So that's a problem that each of us has as we age. And the signs of that your stem cells are going down are very typical. Graying hair, uh, you're losing muscle, your skin is wrinkling, you don't walk as fast. There's just so many signs of aging, and it's all because we don't have the stem cells to replace. I mean, our cells are constantly changing, dying off, and we're making new ones, but we don't make them nearly as well as we used to when we were kids. And when you got that cut as a kid, your mom put mercurochrome on them or methylate, and she said, "Oh, that's pain. That's pain. The germs are dying." I said, "Well, them germs are hurting me because that was remember how painful those things were." But you heal right away. But now, as an older adult, you don't heal that fast any longer. And stem cells, if we could get more of them, that's a good thing, not a
Mm,
bad thing.
absolutely. That's a great segue. Ladies and gentlemen, again, you're on Patch Like a Champion Monday. I'm going to share my screen here. And let me just go. Bear with me a sec.
Joe, while you're doing that too, I want to say this. I really thought about this today.
Hmm.
When you get a stem cell injection in a, let's say in your shoulder, your elbow, the stem cells go to that spot, and you're hoping that they're going to heal that spot. But that's all they do. They're not going to produce other stem cells. Where copper peptide is totally different. That continues to make stem cells in your body day after day, week after week, month after month, as you keep the copper peptide elevated in your system. So we're talking about a lifetime of stem cells, not just an injection of stem cells. That's a huge difference.
Good point. So we need to make a disclaimer. Rich and I are both directors with LifeWave. We make no promises that this product's going to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medical condition. Always consult your physician. Once they learn that this is a non-transdermal medical device, they typically give their blessing. In addition, LifeWave does not make any income claims. We are going to talk about a very unique financial opportunity. I do hope you stick around. It's been a major financial blessing